This WWE superstar was one half of the popular tag team, the Godwinns. They won the tag team championship twice, being managed by Hall of Famer Hillbilly Jim. Now he is bringing his slop bucket to Jersey. Straight out of Jersey welcomes WWE superstar Henry O. Godwinn.
Welcome to Straight Out of Jersey. I'm Joe Zapata, and I'm here with a WWE superstar, Henry O. Godwinn. What's up, Henry?
Joe, what's up, buddy? I'm glad. I've been looking forward to this. So we'll tell a few lies.
Well, first of all, I like to always ask the legends and everything. How is your health? How's your overall health?
Good. Just the normal aches and pains, but I'm used to that. Years of that, I'm used to that. If I can just get up right, I'm happy.
Okay.
Go to the gym a couple of days a week and working here. We got a little farm here, so there's always something to do.
Okay, great. Did you grow up a wrestling fan or no?
Yes. Yeah, started when I was about 4 or 5 watching it, and always loved it. You know, wrestled in high school, played football, baseball, and I was a jock. I was after school all the time. I never got to go home after school all year long. So, yeah, I loved wrestling. And then finally, after I got out of school, I was working here in Princeton, West Virginia, and met a couple wrestlers, and it was George South and Italian Stallion. And they trained me and started taking me to WCW, being an extra down there. And then I worked Eric Watts as soon as he was still green, but I worked Eric, and his dad, Cowboy Bill Watts, and Dusty were running the show down there at the time. And Dusty gave me my first job. So I've always been very grateful and appreciated to them too.
Okay. When you were down in WCW, you teamed with Dennis Phineas as Tex, correct?
Yeah, Tex, aka Phineas.
Wow. He was your partner for a long time. Did you enjoy WCW?
I did. It was a good learning experience. I don't think we got treated right down there, but you know, we were there. I worked for them for about 4 years, and me and Tex had a contract for 2 years down there. And then it was a good stepping stone for me. You know, a lot of the older guys, that's one of the reasons we got let go, because Flair came back out of retirement and they wanted to bring a bunch of their old friends back. So they were letting the young guys. As a matter of fact, me and Tex and Hunter got let go at the same time. So I went on up in about 4 or 5 weeks. I had an interview with WWF at the time. And I flew up and met with Vince and J.J. Dillon in his little kayfabe office back there, and met about 2.5, 3 hours, and shit, the rest is history, man. It just took right off. You know, he asked me what I did, and I told him, well, I farmed, I drove a truck, I worked in the hospital. So it was a good experience, and I'm glad that I got the opportunity to go up there, because it was more of an opportunity for me. And you know, Vince likes taking young guys and willing them out to what he wants them to be. And you know, we were talking, and he asked me what I did, and I said, he said, what do you do with at the farm? I said, well, we raise hogs, we got a few cows and chickens. And he says, tell me about the hogs. I said, well, we have pigs, we raise them, we castrate them, we slop them and feed them and take care of them. And he goes, you slop them. So everything, he wrote down everything. And matter of fact, I just found this picture. That's the original picture from WWF, the marketing department. That's the original drawing from '94. It's got the date on it, and the artist who figured it out. And then I was talking to Taker a couple months ago, and I told him I'd found mine, and he goes, damn, I don't even know if I got one. So I was glad to find that, man. That's a rare piece.
That's a really great piece right there. Let me ask you about Vince McMahon. He's been in the paper recently, had the documentary. How did he treat you when you were there?
Vince was always good to me, me and Phineas. And I had heard some horror stories, but I didn't have to work in the office. I didn't have to, we just did our thing and worked hard. And Vince was always good to us, and we never had any problem, and got along with Shane and Stephanie and Linda. We got along with all of them, so it was a good experience up there.
Okay, what was in the slop bucket?
Well, when I had to make slop, we would get to catering, and I would go through and throw a little lettuce and a little rice and milk and some bread. I had to get some substance. So
okay. There
but,
is a famous story about Sonny getting slopped.
Sonny got a special slop. She's the only one in Godwinn history slopping that got a little sloppy slop. We can go over the ingredients with it, or I can give you an idea.
Give me an idea.
Okay, well, we got the tea, and Bruce Pritchard and Vince goes, "Hey, you're going to slop Sonny tonight." I said, "Oh hell, that'll be fun." So we got there about 1, maybe 5 after, and they told us right as soon as we got there. So we went down to catering. I usually made about a half a bucket or a little less of slop when I was going to throw it. And of course, Ted DiBiase got 3 of them. So, but anyway, we went to catering and we ate, and I made the slop, and we went back to the locker room. All the boys were in this big locker room. And I said, "Sonny's getting slop tonight. Nobody else this, okay?" And I set it down, and we walked out and went to go over the match with production and everything. And when I came back, it was filled up about that far from the top. And I know, I don't fill them up that far. So I had heard that Razor and X-Pac took it in the bathroom in the stall. And then I heard there was people dipping and spitting their dip in there and whatever. So, and I'd seen a show on Vice Channel with Cornette was on there. It was the Sonny and Chris Candido, the one on them. And told somebody I had a in Beckley, West Virginia this past weekend, and I was telling somebody that Cornette said there was 23 different DNAs in that bucket. So that's the slop Sonny got.
Did you prefer wrestling heel or babyface?
I like both of them. As long as we got a good response either way, I didn't care. The heel part was a little bit more, it was a little more exciting, a little more fun. You didn't have to be so nice all the time because we were like these big dopey hillbillies that just laughed. And then when we got serious, then things changed. After I broke my neck and everything, it's Hawk and Animal. But yeah, it was fun being a heel. We didn't have to do all the interviews and all the radio stations and TV stations and all that because we were heels. So, but it was fun either way.
Okay. Who decided to hook you up with Hillbilly Jim as your manager?
That was Vince and Bruce and them guys. Hillbilly came back and we had the hog pen match, me and Triple H.
Triple H, yep.
And they said they wanted to bring Hillbilly in to do the special guest referee.
Yeah.
And then that way we could lead into something with Hillbilly because Phineas wasn't up there at the time. He was out for about a year getting some stuff taken care of. So I went up and I kept bringing his name up and trying to get him up there. And after about a year, they give him a dark match and they put us together and we picked up right where we left off. We've been together since the end of 91 and we've never had a cross word. So he's been a good friend.
That hog pen match, didn't you cut Triple H
Yeah. We, we had that gate there, and it was a
Hmm.
panel gate, and he threw me into it first, and I was like 320 at the time. So I hit that thing full steam, and it just bent it. And when it bent, it put a couple of sharp edges out.
Oof.
So, when I threw him into it, he hit them edges, and he got 15 stitches in his back. And I didn't know it till he got back to the locker room. And so I always tease him, tell him I scarred him for life.
Oof. That's tough. That's really tough. We were talking before we came on about Ahmed Johnson, who I'm friends with. And he told me, like he said, I will never go out drinking with the Godwins. Never. What happened one night?
I think I remember, I know my surroundings, but I think it was St. Louis. I can see the hotel and everything,
Hmm.
but I think it was St. Louis. And he rode with us.
Okay.
And that was the last time he rode with us. But anyway, we went to the hotel. He was a couple rooms down from us, and he goes, "What are y'all going to do tonight?" I said, "Well, we're going to go out and get something to eat and go to the bar or whatever." So he goes, "I might do that too." So we went out, started drinking. We were buying him a few shots here and there, and because I'd never seen him go out and like with the boys and drink.
Hmm.
So he was he was the big silly boy. He was lit, and we got him back to the hotel, got him to his room. The next morning, it looked like a bomb had went off in there. He had tore
Wow.
his lamp up and all kinds of stuff. And he told the office, he goes, "That's some damn Godwins." He says, "I'm never riding or going out with them." But we had a good time that night anyway. He was having fun.
Mm. Now, who are the members of the BSK, and who came up with that?
Uh, well, it all started after I got up there and I started running with Undertaker and Paul Bear, and then I started driving Yoko around, and then we were out one night, and Yoko's come up. They come up. Him and Taker had come up with this Bone Street Crew (BSK), crew
Hmm.
spelt with a K, and it just stuck because
Hmm.
we our little group always played dominoes, so Bone Street Crew was how they come up with that, and it was very diverse group. You had hillbillies and rednecks and blacks and Samoans, and it was just what an awesome crew that was. And we were just a bunch of big guys that liked being around each other and helped each other out, tried to with our careers, and we were just a brotherhood, man. It was awesome.
Yeah. Was that because of the click? You guys made your own group?
No, we were sort of. We actually, I think BSK started right before the click started. I think that's why it all started, though.
Oh,
But
really?
everybody says, "Oh, y'all hate each other?"
Hmm.
There was no hate between any of us. Uh,
Hmm.
so it was a good time. Matter of fact, we had some Click and BSK encounters together out on the road. So we always hung out with each other. But usually it was just our little crew. We did our thing, and that was
Hmm.
it.
Oh, wow. When you guys won the titles, that was also the night of the curtain call, correct?
Yeah, at Madison Square Garden.
Correct. Was there a lot of heat in the background in the locker room because of that?
Uh, yeah, some of the guys. Yeah, some of the guys were a little upset about it. I mean, it was what happened happened. So ain't no reason crying over spilt milk. It happened, and we moved on. So it's all good.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, LOD, you guys obviously fought LOD, the Animal and Hawk. That's where you got injured, correct?
Yeah, I broke my neck that night. We were working them, and you know, I'm not a stooge. I'm a loyal guy, and I didn't stooge Hawk off to the office. I just told them, hey, I'm not comfortable doing this. And Hawk wasn't himself that night. And it just didn't work. And sure enough, I said, I don't feel comfortable doing this. And Phineas said, well, I've taken it before. I'll do it again. I'll do it. And the office said, no, we want Henry to take. And sure enough, I cracked my C7 that night in Binghamton, New York on live TV.
Wow. Yeah.
And,
I've seen that. That was pretty tough.
I went back, I come home and had all the tests done. And the doctor said, just lay flat for 14 weeks and ice it. And then go back and have another MRI. Well, dumbass me, I was back, called the office in 6 weeks and asked to come back on the road. So I went, started wrestling again, and Vince had a trainer work on me every night after the match, and it was just getting worse. And we were supposed to get the belts in September of '98 we were going to go over on Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. That would have been our third time. We were a Southern Justice at the time.
Yeah.
We'd got with Jeff Jarrett and put the suits on. But it was disappointing because we had a lot of good stuff getting ready to happen. And, I come home and had spinal fusion done. Me and Stone Cold had the same stuff going on, C6, C7. And that's what they fused on me. But, another thing.
Yeah, that's about
Ain't no reason dwelling over it. Ain't nothing I can do about it. It happened, so just move on.
Yeah. You also gave, I guess, Hawk a bump on the ramp that he cut him open on the back of the head. Was that legit?
That was real, but it wasn't planned. He told me to slop drop him on the ramp, and I did, and I think he got like 5 or 6 stitches back in the back of his head. But yeah, everybody was saying, "Oh, did you mean to do that?" And I said, "No, I'm doing what I was told." We don't usually do it on steel and a grate, but yeah, I loved them guys. Who just, I didn't agree with what was going on that night, but ain't nothing I can do about it now.
Yeah, I was interviewing Chaz a couple weeks ago, and he told me, he said he loved wrestling you guys.
We had so much fun with them too, in and out of the ring both. We were like 4 big silly kids with them when they got around, and we got a lot of stories and a lot of good memories with them, and enjoyed working them. And they're both doing good and still working, and proud of them.
Yeah. Do you think you're a Hall of Famer? I mean, I do.
Well, I think we could be. We won the belts twice. So. We made a little ruckus while we were there, and it was going to be a lot better. From what I hear, the future looked good for us, and but things happen.
Yeah, you still good friends with Undertaker and Phineas and everyone?
Oh yeah, me and Phineas had went down to Texas a few months ago and did Taker's 6 Feet Under podcast. That was a hoot. We walk in the studio and Kane's over there doing his taping. So we started messing with him and we're all laughing and they're taping. But it turned out good. And if you haven't seen that, you have to check it out. It's pretty fun.
I've seen some of it. I've seen some of it. It's pretty good.
It's funny stuff. And me and Phineas and Godfather got a small BSK get together in Montreal, September 20th. We'll be in Montreal, and they're going to do a BSK Q&A with us 3.
Oh, that's cool.
So hopefully we get a lot of people out and they can come back and eat and drink with us, and we'll take pictures and sign stuff. And it's just going to be a good get together. There's
going to be WrestleCon here in Newark, New Jersey. I know Godfather's going to be there. So
when is that? When is that?
I think it's in July or August. With Godfather will be there. I know that's a WrestleCon in Newark.
Okay, I know in October in New York City, our toy guy is bringing supposed to be me, Phineas, Godfather, Savio, and Hillbilly Jim is actually going to try to come to this because Hassel Toys is coming out. They made our dolls, and we got new the 7-inch dolls coming out. But I got him hooked up with Hillbilly, and Hillbilly's he done signed a contract, and they're making Hillbilly's doll. and they're going to do a 3-pack with us three, me and Phineas and Hillbilly. So I can't wait till that happens.
That's pretty cool.
And that'll be October 10th. That's some kind of WrestleCon in New York City. It's a pretty big one.
Cool.
So, yeah, I don't know where you're at, how far you are from there, but you
yeah, I'm
come
not
down
far from that.
with us.
I'll probably try and make it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's October 10th.
October 10th. Okay, I'll try and see if I can make that. Where's why'd they switch you with Uncle Cletus?
I don't know.
You don't know?
We'll have to ask Vince Russo that. He's the yeah.
I didn't like that one too much.
I didn't. Yeah. You know, we had some good stuff. That was going to be another good thing with Uncle Cletus, but you know, we did that little skit. We lost the belts back to the Road Warriors, and then they just got rid of him. And then Vince Russo wanted us to said hillbillies can't carry the straps.
Okay.
I guess because we were wearing overalls, from what I hear. He didn't tell us that, but anyway, that's our Vince Russo. He was our kryptonite. He was everybody's thorn in your side.
Yeah. After you were injured, you couldn't really come back. Is that's why you couldn't come back to WWE?
Well, I had lost my son in 2003, my youngest son, and I was a single parent. So it was a little rough, but I did go back in 06 and 07 for a little while, but physically and mentally, I wasn't prepared to go back on the road, and I'm much better off. I'm in better shape now than I was after that. So
that's great.
I take care of myself pretty good. I go to the gym 2 or 3 days a week, and I say, just working around here, there's always something to
do. Do you watch wrestling today or no?
If it's something I'm interested in, I'll watch it. And, you know, we were at WrestleMania, and me and Godfather did a watch party at Hard Rock out there. So I did get to watch the first night, a lot of it, and but we were so busy out there. And I went to one of Taker's Dead Man shows out there, and he got me up on stage and told a couple stories on me from Germany. So we'll leave it at that.
Well, who was the big drinker out of your group? Taker?
God, when we were all together, we all held our own. Yoko was a big, and Jack Daniels was our thing. So I always tell this story when we go overseas to the hotel or something, the hotel bar, and Yoko would go buy a 5th of Jack, and over there, hell, they'd charge you $75 for a 5th of Jack. He'd buy it, come back over, he'd take the top off, and he'd throw it in the trash. So we knew that we had to drink all of it before we got up. So that happened a lot over in Europe.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. There's a famous picture of you guys in the bus. Where was that taken?
That was in Germany. And
Germany?
That was the last bus. They always had 2 buses. One left right around intermission, and then whoever worked after that would usually go on the last bus. So, man, they always had ice cold beer and Jack Daniels waiting on us on the bus every time.
Wow.
So we all hit that, and I'll tell you a little story.
Go ahead.
George Animal Steel took that picture.
Okay.
With my, we didn't have phones back. We had cameras, pagers. So, yeah, Godfather, he's in Vegas, so he had some kind of hook on these pagers. He would bring us these pagers, and that's what we used. But yeah, that George Animal Steel took that picture, and somebody had brought a couple joints out, so everybody eager to hit it, and Taker says nobody hit it till George the Animal Steel hits it, because him and Briscoe's in the office. So sure enough, old George took a hit of that, and then we started passing it around the table. He's in the office. We can't say nothing because we got him now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was a very fun night. Briscoe, he got pretty lit, and he was yelling at the bus driver, "Hey, turn this bus around. Let's go back to that bar." And he was serious. But we said, Jerry, we need to get on. We get back to the hotel, and we took over the hotel bar. So it all worked out. But yeah, what a great group of guys that was.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got on that bus, so it was a nice experience.
Yeah, I saw you on the JBL Briscoe podcast.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. That was pretty fun. That one. And you were talking about that picture also.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun and everything. Who was your favorite to wrestle? Actually, is that you love doing to wrestle?
Oh God. When I was singles, I loved working Hunter. We just had such good chemistry together. We were married like for 6 months in the ring. All the overseas tours we worked, and all the building up to the big hog pen match. So he was a lot of fun. God, I loved working Scorpio, Too Cold Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
Well, matter of fact, in WCW, we did a beach blast, and we worked Scorpio and Bagwell when we were texting Shanghai.
Mm-hmm.
And Blackjack Mulligan was our agent for the match, and we had a hell of a match. If you ever get to watch it, go look at that match. Mm-hmm. I talked to somebody last week, and they said they had went and watched the beach blast. That's funny. I brought it up.
Wow, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, it's I think it's 92 or 93 beach blast.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of fun, hell of a match. But and Blackjack and or the Blackjacks with Barry and Bradshaw, we had some good matches with them, and of course the Headbangers. We talked about them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Did you ever have any real fights in the background in the locker room? Any real fights break out that you saw?
Oh, I'm trying to think who that was. We've talked about that. It was Diesel and somebody had got in a fight back there. I never seen any of that.
Really?
When we were doing a pay-per-view or something, it was in Nashville, and it was a battle royal, and Viscera had splashed me in a battle royal, which you don't do. You don't shoot somebody off the ropes in a battle royal when all guys are in there. And then I was laying on my stomach, and he jumped on my back.
Oof.
Well, it ruined me. So I had to crawl out of the ring, and I got to the back. They helped me back there, and they shot some Toradol in my back and iced me. And Taker come in before his match. He goes, "What the hell happened?" And they told him I was hurting so bad, and they told him, and he got mad. He started taping his fists up. And when Viscera come in the locker room, Taker went after him. Wasn't no punches thrown, but it was very close. So, yeah, that's just.
I think he got fired after that, probably.
He got fired about a week later.
Wow.
Yeah. Because he had that's what happened to Taker's eye socket. He had broke Taker's eye socket.
Really?
Yeah, that's why he wore that mask when we did the Survivor Series.
Oh, yeah,
and it was me and Savio, Rikishi, and Taker against Hunter, Lawler, Viscera, and Isaac Yankem.
Wow. Yeah, I heard Viscera wasn't too good he was a little dangerous in the ring.
Yeah. Some of the guys are, man. Like the Road Warriors, they could be, they have the look, but man, be a little edgy sometimes, and just dangerous. So when you're in there, you're trusting people with your body and take care of each other.
Is that how you got like your teeth knocked in or something?
That was in California against Doink.
Doink. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was worked him for 4 days out there. The first night of a 4-day tour in California, I give him a slop drop. Well, he turned his body into me, which drew me into him, and he got 8 stitches across there from my teeth, and then he knocked the teeth through my lip.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a tooth dangling for 3 more nights after that. I wrestled 3 more nights. But yeah, they sent a taxi come to the building, and me and Doink in full gear, bloody, and he got paint, on him. And
Yeah.
I'm in my overalls. He's in his clown suit. We go to the damn emergency room like that. My lips all out. I looked like a duck, and my tooth went through my lip. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we took a taxi to the emergency room together, and so that was
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Which Doink was that? Was that Matt Bourne or which
No,
Doink?
it was oh God, what's
Apollo?
his name? Yeah,
Ray Apollo?
yeah.
That one? Okay. There's a bunch of Doinks. I don't know which Doink it was.
Yeah.
There was a lot of them there. How was wrestling the Body Donnas for the titles when you won that? Were they okay?
Yes.
They were good.
Dr. Tom and Chris were great workers and very smart, and we had good chemistry with them. But we beat them for the belts in Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm. In the Garden.
We liked working Davey and Owen too. We they had the belts, and Phineas hadn't been up long, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 months, and we went on a loop where we worked Davey and Owen.
Mm.
And we had a hell of a match. I mean, it was snowing. We were in Penn State at Penn State College and wrestled at their arena there. And they had the belts, and we had a match against them, but it was a non-title match. And we beat their ass that night. And when they when that 1, 2, 3 hit, the people went crazy. And it was just a good feeling that, me and Phineas were doing good things again. I mean, he was back up there and everything was going good. But yeah, I liked working Davey and Owen, but they were, if it wasn't a big house, they were clowns. I know
Mm-hmm.
there was maybe 10,000 people, 8,000 people at this show up in Canada. And we're in the ring, and here comes Davey and Owen. It's an ice skating rink. I bet there wasn't 8,000. There's probably 5,000 people there. It was a little
Mm-hmm.
skate rink in Canada. So here come Davey and Owen. Owen's got a banana stuffed down in his tights, so it looks like he's well-to-do,
Mm-hmm.
So he gets out the ring. He's walking around, and he's not saying nothing. And he locks up with Phineas and spits water in his face. So he's had water in his mouth all the way out. Spit that in Phineas's face, and then he tags Davy Boy in. He goes over, pulls the banana out, and starts eating the banana. So that's the kind of stuff we had to put up with them two. But I miss both of them. They were great guys. Loved both of them. Good
Yeah,
fan.
a lot of guys in the business are passing away. It's kind of sad.
Yeah,
it's kind of tough. What are you doing retired now? You're just kind of hanging out at the farm?
Just hanging out here. We're still raising hogs, and I do the signings.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good. I know we were supposed to go to New Orleans next year for WrestleMania, but they moved it back to Vegas.
Moving back to Vegas, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you guys should make like not a comeback, but at least come back to WrestleMania. Make you're friends with Paul, so Triple H. So come back a little bit, maybe do some, say hello.
Phineas is not physically able.
No.
He's had a lot of health issues. He's a diabetic. He's lost half of his foot, one of his feet. So,
Mm-hmm.
But he's doing better now. And matter of fact, I talked to the Headbangers
Oh, you talked to him?
a year or two ago, and they wanted me to do a 6-man with them.
Oh,
So
wow.
I seen a picture of them on Instagram the other day. So I messaged them and say, hey, we need to do that 6-man we were talking about.
Wow, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, where can people find you? You're on Instagram, right? You're on Instagram.
Yeah. Henry O. Godwinn on Instagram. And,
Okay. And you're going to be signing here in a couple places, right? Where you're going to be signing in
we're gonna do Montreal September 20th. It's Montreal Slam Fest. It's the first year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one me and Godfather and Phineas will be at. And there's other, I think, oh God, I can't remember who all is going to be there, but there's a few people going to be there. and
Yeah,
it'll be good. And then we got, like I was telling you, that October 10th in New York City.
Yep.
So if
Hopefully
you're
try to make that.
free, come down and hang with us, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know I'm going to be with the Godfather in Newark, so I'll probably see him, but I'll definitely go to the show to hang out with you guys. You know?
Yeah.
We'll get a couple
we'll
drinks.
take you out.
Some Jack Daniels. We'll have some Jack Daniels.
You can probably handle it. He could.
Well, Henry, thank you so much. I appreciate everything you've done for the business. You're great. I hope you get in the Hall of Fame. I really do.
Well, I appreciate it, man. You keep in touch with me, and
I definitely will, Mark.
Call me or shoot me a text or something, and
definitely.
If I find out anything about the show, I'll shoot you a text or call you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. You have a good one.
You got it.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand Podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.